Hey everybody, this is AJ. Before we get started, we just wanted to give a few shout-outs to some of our wonderful, loyal listeners all across the internet. I may screw up some of your names, I am so sorry, but we are trying to give you the respect you deserve, I promise. Okay, we've got Totally Rad VHS, Betamax Video Club, Trevor Rushak, Magnus Axelson, Joseph Rodriguez, Sean Jump, Julie Willis, Zanzibar Land, Bad Movies Club, and Daniel Nellison. You guys rock. Thank you so much for following us. We'll have more of these shoutouts later on, but for now, please enjoy the episode.
Creating canon with Nick and AJ. Sit right back and listen today. We're talking about Rappin, a movie so fine, starring Mario van Peebles. It's online. Listen to the story that we're about to tell, because, hey, if you don't like it, go to hell. Rappin'.
Crappin'?
Snappin'.
Flappin'.
That's what we're doing with our lips right now. If you don't like it, don't have a cow. This rap is as good as anything you'll see in the Rappin' movie. Rappin'. A snippity snip, 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 snap, snappin'.
I'm no rapper or an MC.
But that's why you're gonna listen to me, because I can do it. With this song, I think this beat's gone on too long. So I'm gonna stop right now.
Well, truth in advertising.
Shut up your face, man, don't have a cow. Rappin'.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Creating Canon with your hosts, AJ Hamilton and Nick Pappas.
Oh, that's I'm sorry. I think we go over this every week. It's I go by Nicholas C. Pappas.
I swear to God, Nick.
I'm sorry. It's not. I know it makes me sound like an asshole. It's one of those
it's fine.
It makes my mom happy. So every time you say Nick Pappas, my mom cries.
Nicholas C. Pappas. Happy now?
My mom will be.
Nicholas C. Pappas.
Thank you.
He's also on this.
And on this, we are talking about
Creating Canon.
Yeah.
This little ditty that we're making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, speaking of little ditties,
sure.
We saw what might be one of my favorite things we've watched. I mean, we're only several episodes in, but
sure.
One of my favorites that we've seen so far, and that is the 1985 classic
Rappin'. Rappin'?
Rappin'.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even, this is one of those things where, I don't know why we're talking about this, because this movie was literally perfect start to finish.
This movie had to happen.
Yeah, it did.
Clearly.
According
to the trailers,
yeah,
Ice-T was singing that this movie had to happen. Rappin'.
So, just to give a quick rundown of the plot.
Yes, please.
When John Rappin Hood... Now, AJ, can you just... I know I'm sorry that I started the plot, then I stopped it. Can you just explain to me... Well, I mean, really, you're explaining it to the listening audience.
Oh, absolutely.
What happened when I realized that this was a song about Rappin Hood?
You screamed and fell to the floor.
Screaming and...
Rolled off the couch, fell to the floor, in adulation for how wonderful these creators of this movie are.
Yes. Yeah. I was so excited. So anyways, I'm sorry.
John Rappin Hood, everybody. Get it?
Rappin. When John Rappin Hood is released from prison, he comes home to find an urban developer trying to take over his hood.
Yep.
John and his crew fight back in the best way they can with Rappin. This movie had to happen.
Indeed it did.
Yeah.
Indeed it did. And
I'm glad it happened. I'm going to read you the back of the Blu-ray box. Please do. Old school fans, it's your lucky day. Rappin' has made it onto Blu-ray. It's a Canon Group film, so you know it's good. A fresh little tale about Rappin' John Hood. He's an ex-convict with a heart of gold. Words so tight and rhyme so bold. When a villain steps up to take over the street, he learns Rappin' Hood, so ain't so easy to beat. With Mario van Peebles from New Jack City and Eric LaSalle in the rhyming committee. From the director of Breakin', The Secret Is Out. Get a Rappin' Blu-ray from the crew at Shout. Word. No fucking shit that's on there.
Golan and Globus, they made it happen.
Yeah.
Do they really? I mean, they do. I suppose they save it with Rappin'.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
In that, like, I mean, I guess they do. I mean, at the end of the movie,
yeah.
I mean, I know we're jumping straight into the end. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is solved when there's like what is it, like the
Urban Development Planning
Committee?
meeting, which I don't understand. Okay. Let's actually start this from the beginning. He gets out of prison for we don't know why.
We
don't know why. And then a quarter of the way into this movie, we find out that this sort of faceless rich fellow, played by Harry Goss, who was also on C-Lab 2021, just for all of you Adult Swim fans.
All you nerds.
All of the motivations in this are incredibly, if not vague, broad.
Well, it's cartoonish.
Yes.
And it's fascinating how cartoonish the movie really is.
Yeah.
John Hood, Rappin' Hood.
John Rappin' Hood.
Yes. Played by Mario van Peebles. I think he's mostly known as a director today. Mm-hmm. His father, Melvin Van Peebles, was huge blaxploitation star.
Well,
Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song.
Yes, and he also, in Black Dynamite, Mario Van Peebles played his father.
Right.
Melvin, yeah.
Yes.
Or a character named
Melvin. You're right. There's no reason for him to be released from prison. And it's almost as if maybe a third of the way through, the writers were like, wait, we have to have, like, a plot.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just have these guys run around rapping about things. All the conflict between him and, like, the angry other gang leader,
who apparently we get one line saying that he used to be his, like, second in command type of guy, but now there's no backstory to tell us why he's mad at him for coming back. Well, first of all, the guy really should be the one worried, because he created his own gang, right? Dwayne, this fellow, who was the second in command,
who looked like fucking, like, he was a white dude who looked like John Travolta fucked Ken Moreno, and they had a baby.
Yes,
and like they were dressed like T-Birds from Grease, the sweat hogs from Welcome Back, Kotter. In that they looked like, I don't even know how to explain.
They looked too fancy to be a gang.
Well, and they looked very specifically like 1950s gang,
right?
Not what I would imagine like a 1980s Pittsburgh gang.
Right. Honestly, the guy looked like Bender from Breakfast Club at one point.
Oh yeah.
He had sort of the long and I think the gloves.
The gloves.
He was cold. It was cold, so he had the scarf around his neck. I don't know, man. And again, his motivations made no sense. He was like, "Oh man, you're back. You gotta fight me."
Yeah, because I want to prove that you're better than you.
Yeah, and why would you threaten to fight a guy who just had 18 months of just working out in the yard? Yeah. I mean, that's a tough motherfucker there.
And he's also like, he comes back and he's like, this girl who used to be your girl is my girl now. Mm-hmm. And she's like, let's stop fighting. He's like, shut up, bitch. Go get me a beer. I'm going to prove to you that I'm better than him. And it's one of those things where I'm like, that is not, I mean, look, maybe I've been doing things wrong for most of my life, but like, that does not seem like the way to get the girl.
It doesn't, but you have to understand that women before about 1995 had no autonomy.
That's exactly what's the problem.
Completely kidding, but like that's how bad guys always treated them, as if you got no other options, lady.
Well, that's and again, like, it's such a cartoon. I mean, look,
yeah, exactly.
I would say that this movie is to rap as Popeyes is to Cajun food. Like, that's it's it's sort of like watered down,
very much so.
Not quite what it really is.
A little off.
Just a
just
little
a
off.
little off in the spices.
A little off in the spices.
Oh, they tried real hard, but it was like they missed the beat every third or fourth line.
And you literally mean miss the beat in that.
Literally missed the beat.
The main actors in this movie, none of them are rappers.
Nope.
Whatsoever, yet they all wrote the rap songs.
Yes.
Together.
They all participated. Not just performed, but wrote them. Yes.
Like Eric LaSalle
is
and
credited
Mario,
on half of the movie.
Yeah,
the
and
songs.
like Mario van Peebles.
Yeah.
Like they wrote the rap songs, and they are not rappers.
They're not. It's like they just looked at a rhyming dictionary.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember though. I think like
I know that rapping was in its infancy.
Yeah, that's what I
sort
was
of
gonna say.
at this
like,
point.
At this point, like rap was like just a baby. Like
yeah.
So I think when people heard rap, they're like, it's like talking in rhyme.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Than,
like saying a poem.
Yeah. Exactly.
Essentially. With a beat underneath
With a beat underneath.
And yeah, I mean, even to give us some idea, Ice-T was in this movie, but hadn't released
a studio
album.
At this point. Yeah, this was 2 years before Ice-T's first studio album.
Wow.
And it should be noted, too, that this movie is technically the third in a trilogy, the Breakin', Breakin' 2, and Rappin', even though Rappin' had literally nothing to do with Breakin' or Breakin' 2.
Right.
The one thing that connects all the movies,
through line, as it were,
is that Ice-T is in all three of them, which I think is, but like, and
perfect.
He's in them, like, he's sort of like seen there, rapping in the background. He's not like actually like in the movie.
Right. He is one of the other auditioners when
like
Mario Van Peebles gets his big break.
Yeah, his Battle of the Bands kind of like, but it's like Battle of the Rappers.
So Breakin' 2 didn't start the concept of the community center is closing and we've got to raise some money if we're going to save this. But it seemed as if this was trying that.
Yeah.
And it didn't come through because it didn't use, like you were saying, when he's auditioning, when it's the Battle of the Bands type thing, they didn't use that as a springboard for anything.
No,
it was just his other victory at the end.
Well, that's actually, you're hitting something right on the head about this movie that's crazy, is like, at no point does his rapping in Battle of the Bands and rapping career mix with the fact that like the community is being taken over by an urban developer.
Right.
If like the big thing at the end of the movie was the fact that he signed this big contract and he earned all this money and he could pay everyone's rent.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Like,
of course.
At least those two things are married in some way.
Right.
But it's actually, I didn't even think about this till now. It's just two separate plot lines on a track moving forward.
But actually, it turns out that rapping is kind of his superpower, we find out. Because during the audition, for some reason it's being held in a bar, and for some reason there is a man being served that is not related to the rappers or the producers.
Yeah. Well, I just to explain the central conceit of this moment.
Yes.
The bar is closed at this point.
I guess.
That I think is the important part.
Then who is that man? I didn't recognize him.
That's a great fucking question.
So he somehow snuck in, or he was a regular and was like, I slept here last night. Give me another drink. And they're serving him.
Yeah. And
then the bartender and him, who the bartender also seems a bit drunk.
Yeah, there's no reason for those two to be drinking.
But
drunk.
Yeah, but the drinker smashes a bottle over the bartender's head, and to stop
in
it,
epic fashion.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you caught the sound effect of that, but like the bottle sound exploded like a half a second before the bottle did, which led to this like it made my eyes actually hurt.
I would say that the sound design in this slightly lacking.
Amazing.
I mean,
amazing.
Lackingly wonderful.
Lacking nothing.
Lacking in only an Oscar.
Yes.
But he breaks up this fight, this epic fight, too. Like, they go around, they jump over the tables and start hitting people with chairs and stuff. And he breaks it up by having a rap. Having a rap. Jesus Christ.
Nope, that's it.
Creating a rap out of thin air about the dangers of alcohol.
Yes.
And he solves that situation, and that is like, oh man, this guy is amazing. We should produce him. Forget the other guys who Ice-T and the other.
Ice-T is this is the crazy part. Is Ice-T is
that
actually
Killer song was
an
great.
Incredible rapper.
Yeah,
in this, like, he's great in this, and he has this incredible rap, and when he's done, the producer's like, this guy's...
Don't you have any real rappers?
Yeah, don't you have anything
Come on.
real?
But then his superpower comes back later. Now, I expected it to come back when he was knife fighting with,
but it's not.
with Dwayne.
With Dwayne.
Which we've got to say is a great fight because of the realism-ish about it.
What I love...
He gets cut.
He gets cut. And the other thing, too, that I really liked, and I think we both hit this moment of, like...
Yes.
And this goes into, like, for me, it goes into, like, the canon of canon, right?
Yes.
Where there's something real about, he takes, like, Mario van Peebles takes off his jacket and, like, wraps it around his arm in order to, like...
guard from the knife.
The knife. So he, like, shoves his hand forward as Dwayne
is... essentially to catch the knife?
Yeah.
I thought, I at first thought that was just a machismo moment where he was taking off his jacket, but then, I mean, we've seen it in a couple other canon films where you use the things around you.
Yeah.
It's done all practically, so you're thinking, oh, in a fight, it's not just that they are in the middle of a green screen or something like that.
And it's something that's...
It's imperfect, almost.
You know? And I think that's something beautiful about that truism.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Perfectly imperfect, right? And there's something beautiful about the truism in that I think if we were in a fight, that's exactly what you would do if someone pulls out a knife. Is like, how do I protect myself?
Yes.
What's the best that I can do? And the other thing, too, is like, if he was wearing like a hoodie kind of a thing, it would have been dumb because like a knife will go straight through a hoodie. But it was a leather jacket.
But it was a leather jacket, exactly.
So I can see how like it's not going to effectively stop a stab. Right. But it'll definitely stop a slice.
Yes.
Which in that moment is exactly what he needed to stop.
But I still say, if he had started rapping, the power of his rap might have blasted him back. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right? So the central, the whole problem is that they are in this slum, right? And that apparently precipitates this gang culture, I suppose.
It's like it's like the worst gang war ever.
The gangs are kind of like just members of the society that kind of walk around together. They don't seem like a threat to the community until they are bought off by that Thorndike.
Yeah.
And Thorndike and Cedric.
Yeah.
The developer team.
Yeah. Well, and this is when I go back to it feels like a cartoon, right? Because like these are gangs of like adult men in like the slums of Pittsburgh.
Right.
And the most gang-like thing that they do is hang out in a hideout. Yeah. Where they sit all day. And
they're not well, this is a PG movie, I suppose.
That's true, but still, like, you would think there would be some sort of, like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm at a loss because, you know, nobody's, like, even tagging on the walls. Nobody's, like, being really...
I feel like we're dancing around, like, the worst 80s stereotypes of, like, drugs and guns. And, like, this is 7 years.
That's what I'm saying,
6 or 7? Let me actually check this out.
Sure.
Because this is, like, between, like, what was Boys in the Hood, 89? Boys in the Hood shows a very different thing about...
You know what this is? It's like a Disney version.
91, so it's 6 years.
It's a Disney version of what a Pittsburgh gang would have been.
Right. And that's why I go back to, like, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all the standoffs until that knife fight that we were talking about is sort of just so vanilla. It's ridiculously soft.
Yeah.
So you don't really get a feeling of danger or anything. The kid gets his brother gets arrested by the cops.
He bails him out.
But he bails him out, and then it's like nothing happened.
Yeah, it's like it's all fixed. Like, no, we bailed him out, so like there's nothing.
And that is the only instance of theft. Mm-hmm. And they have a fence. They have a guy who buys the stuff, but he doesn't seem he's just kind of a schlubby, nasty guy who's like, I sold him out. I still don't know who turned him in. Who turned him in?
It was Dwayne.
Oh yeah,
Dwayne turned him in.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually very funny in that this kid steals a radio. Mm-hmm. There's no proof that he steals a radio. He's arrested because Dwayne is like, hey, this kid stole a radio.
Yeah.
But Dwayne and the rest of his crew blatantly in broad daylight destroy the town.
Yeah.
Like destroy like the neighborhood, and nobody calls the police.
Nope.
Where we've established a couple of times in the movie that there is a police presence.
Yes.
The police are willing to listen to the citizens.
They show up pretty quickly during that fight.
Oh god, when they showed up in the knife fight and like everyone scatters and John Hood just like turns around and walks
sort
away.
of saunters away, and they like sheepishly get back in their car. Like, I guess we heard something wrong.
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't investigate. We should all just go home.
No following up for us.
Like, hey, you got a big cut across your chest. What happened? They were just like,
I mean, you look happy enough. I guess we'll leave.
I mean,
That
it's amazing.
That was 4 cops that just got sort of like backstepped into their cars.
Oh god.
Also, I just want to say there are 15 songs in this movie. There are Disney musicals that have fewer songs.
Yes. Look, AJ.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you beat Snack Attack? Like, Snack Attack was vital to the plot.
It was.
I mean,
it really was. It was establishing the characters.
Yeah. So, like, Snack Attack, I gotta be honest, is about a fat guy named Fats who just can't stop eating. This fat fucker can't get enough fucking food in his face. And I can say that because I'm a fat fucker. Because, look, eventually some of this stuff will be up on YouTube. So you'll be able to verify that I'm a fat fucker saying this.
Yeah, you know.
Like, the whole rap is like, oh, Fats, you're gonna have a heart attack if you eat too much. And then he eats a whole cake.
He literally, in the last scene of the movie, has a shirt that says, I heart food, but the heart is broken in half.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a heart, like
it's a real sad ending.
And the thing is, we don't know his future, or his present. We don't know what he's done because that was all he did.
Yeah, no, the actor who plays Fats, you mean? Yeah, like,
this is Melvin Plowden.
Only thing he's ever done. So, like, who knows? He could have died 6 weeks after this movie was made.
If you know Melvin or are Melvin listening to this podcast, please call in.
Please,
Please email us. We would love to get you an interview. That would be freaking amazing.
Melvin, all I'm gonna say, I don't know how related to Fats you are, but I will buy us a cheesecake, and you and I can eat it.
God.
I can give you a hug.
That would be neat.
Yeah,
I bet he'd value that more
than the cheesecake. Probably,
maybe, you know,
probably.
I don't think they had a great commentary socially on diabetes or the eating.
They did not have a lot of good commentary on anything in this movie.
Do you think there was any value in any social commentary in this?
Like in the movie?
Yeah.
So look, I one of my notes actually just comes down to I wrote I hate white people because like honestly, and this is like when we go into like canon, like how do we create a canon style film?
Mm-hmm.
It seems that one of the things is do no research about the culture you're stealing from.
No, of course not.
And just make up whatever it is that you want to make up and like call that fact.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened here.
I think that they looked at some sort of Charles Dickens novel and were like, I see, the rich guy is the bad guy. And he has some sort of power with the government. And eminent domain is a thing, or shut off the gas and they all freeze. Like, I don't know what their plan was. First of all, he tried to evict them, but then they shut off the power and the light, and then they hired Dwayne's gang to rough them all up.
Can you please just say that one more time, because that is the most ridiculous sounding sentence ever.
They hired Dwayne's gang to rough everybody up. And then, after all of that, they were like, we got the signatures or something, which doesn't make any sense, because if you've already evicted them, then they have no recourse.
Yeah.
Them going to a meeting is not like, hey, we decided maybe we'll take a vote on this. No, this is all to announce that they're getting kicked out, and then wait, let's have some vague commentary through a rap.
Some rapping happens.
Some rapping happens, and that changes their ideas about what they're doing as a city council.
Yeah, and
also they start rapping too.
Yeah, when the old people at the city council. First of all, it was shocking how some of these like old, like, 90-year-old men on the city council board had more rhythm than some of, like, our lead actors.
Yeah.
It was, some of those lead actors, like, it was shockingly embarrassing.
You expect them to, now I don't know what production was like at all in this movie, but you expect them to have some sort of rehearsal or some sort of training. Clearly that wasn't that important.
No.
To this whole production.
Well, and I think this brings up, like, what I also noted down as, like, when we talk about canon, one of the things that we can do for canon, like, when we create our film, I think this is something that's important, is do not work on a second draft. Your first draft is perfect. And you know, honestly, there's a reason for that, in that Breakin' came out in May of 1984.
Okay.
And it was a huge hit. It
Sure.
made something like $50 million on, like, a $1 million budget. Those numbers aren't exactly right, but it's like huge fucking hit.
I think it was 40, something like that.
Like, actually, I think it was 48. I mean, like, it was like, it was hot. I mean, like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, they were capitalizing on that sort of
here's
that craze.
And here's exactly what happened, is, like, they capitalized on the Breakin' craze, and that was in May of 1984. This movie comes out. It's a huge hit. There were no plans for a sequel. There were no plans for a second movie. There was nothing.
Wow.
Right? So, Golan and Globus are like, well, we have a hit on our hands. We need to cash in.
You've got to.
So by December of 1984, which is 7 months, they've written a script, they've shot, they've, like, put together and have released Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
That's better than some of the other movies that we've heard.
Yeah, that's true. Like Schizoid was what?
Schizoid,
2 months?
2 months, yeah, exactly.
From
conception to shooting.
Just to start shooting, but still, like, that's crazy.
That's insane.
This movie came out in July of 85, and if it's sort of like in the Breakin' trilogy, you have to think, like, in 14 months, they made 3 movies without any plans for any sequels. So and it's not like Lord of the Rings.
So there's a possibility that this was started after Breakin' 2.
I think it was.
Like, so less than 6 months at that time, then.
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah. From when Breakin' 2... Yeah, so I think that sort of fills in why... everything is so paint by numbers.
This was sort of exemplified by the way he records his one song in the movie.
Yes.
When he needs money to post bail for his brother. It's more complicated than that, but we won't get into it. He goes into the studio and records a song off the top of his head with a standard beat that the engineer just starts playing.
Isn't that the same beat throughout the entire movie? Like, it doesn't
change.
It
probably is. No, not really. No, that's rap, apparently. Yeah. I don't think that the writers or the director of this really necessarily understood what rapping was.
Yeah.
Let's
like
throw
presents? They go around rapping presents? Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
You sound like Roger Rabbit. Please tell me what...
Please help me rap cartoon presents, Daddy, please!
So he does one take of that. They're like, print it. Here's your money, kid. You're going to be a star. Sign this. He's like, nah, I don't have time for this. I got to go save my brother. He's like, wait, I'm going to make you a millionaire or something to that effect. Yeah. Let's work together. Nah, not even gonna meet with you a second time.
I don't want my $200.
So it was $250.
No, it was only $200.
Oh man, how is he gonna get that?
Well, he got the $75 from the kids in the hat.
That's right. Okay, he's putting it all together.
Look, just watch this movie. You know, don't even listen. Just turn this off. And watch this movie, because it is the greatest piece of cinema I've seen in a very long time.
To finalize my point, because I'm going too far over this, every song that they had in this movie sounded as if it had been done in one take.
Yes.
Because there were stutters, there were sort of offbeat lines, like every third line was offbeat. It was almost like they recorded after everybody, because usually little behind the scenes magic for Hollywood is they record it in studio, then they play it back over loudspeakers when you are on set so that you can lip sync to it. But it almost felt like they did it backwards, and they had to record the flubs on the set. I don't know. I have no idea how it was done, but this was just really bad.
I know this is going to sound like the most ridiculous. Like, when they did that Les Mis with Russell Crowe and
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman,
Right.
that was all actually sung live.
Yeah, well, yes, but that's very rarely
But
done.
this is what I was going to say is, do you think this is a precursor to Les Mis?
You think that's where they got the idea
I
from?
think so.
Well,
I
from
think-
Rappin?
Yeah, they were like, Rappin
the
can do it.
success was amazing.
We can do it.
Yeah. No, they used very little ADR in this also. So
There are entire sections of the movie that are so poorly ADR'd.
and it was all clearly because the people playing basketball next to them were way too loud.
Or like the wind was too high. Like,
Well, it's Pittsburgh,
almost
Pittsburgh in the winter?
Question mark?
Because there's like one day where there's snow, and the rest of the days look like it could be summer or it could be December 24th.
Yeah, I
had
have
no idea.
No clue. And some of it looked like a soundstage, I gotta be honest.
Oh, of course,
like
yeah.
a terrible soundstage setup. But almost any scene with Mario Van Peebles and Dixie,
Who is played by
Tasia
Valenza. She's great.
I loved her.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
she was I feel like
she did well with what they
14-year-old
gave her.
Nick would have been in love.
Oh, sure. I liked that she had a career. That was kind of cool. We surprisingly find a few, for the times of these movies, we find stronger female characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, maybe not in relationships because they are beaten down by the
Dwaynes
boyfriends
of
or
the
the
world.
Dwaynes of the world, exactly. But we have girls who are employed. They are like trying to do something with their life, and they're trying to do things for their significant others.
Yeah, and she actually doesn't take, like, if you think about it, she really doesn't take Dwayne's shit. Like, he starts in on her, and she's like, you know what, buddy?
You're kind of a dick.
I need to go talk to Rappin Hood, in the bathroom.
Ever since John Rappin Hood came back.
The bathroom scene. Please, just, I'm going to close my eyes and you describe it so I can think about it.
John Rappin Hood is so upset
from
trying to keep his energy down from just punching Dwayne in the face that he runs into the bathroom, punches the paper towel dispenser very lightly, and yet it falls off the wall as if he had karate chopped it, and then roundhouse kicks the stall door in, horrifying the man who is clearly taking a shit inside of the stall.
The man gets up, pulls up his pants, and runs out.
Straight out.
He did not wipe his ass.
Nope.
Nor did he wash his hands.
It was a clean poop.
It was a clean...
Fingers crossed.
It was a clean turn.
Oh, fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, if this could get no more cartoonish and vaudevillian... Well, that was amazing.
The one other part that was probably more cartoonish and vaudevillian was when the woman who was conservatively like 87,
the
87-year-old hooker,
sure,
convinces,
sex worker,
yes, convinces the oil guy to. I don't understand
the oil
this.
delivery man.
I don't. Maybe this is a Pittsburgh thing. Maybe like this is one of those things
entirely possible. Yeah.
Where like growing up in Southern California, we don't know that like
we have the natural gas coming in. We have no idea what they wouldn't have made that up if that wasn't the way it was done in the 80s. So it's fine.
I will give them that.
But the oil truck is coming around only giving oil to like one person or something. Was that what it was?
No, he was in a rich neighborhood. Because the idea was that the poor neighborhood wasn't going to get any oil.
Neighborhood looked...
So they freeze, so that way the people living there will move out.
Wait, the sex worker lady lived in the rich neighborhood?
It looked like it. That's the only thing I can that's the only thing that I can think of.
Because it honestly to me looked like the same
neighborhood.
The same neighborhood, and they like changed a couple of things around.
Yes.
I don't know.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
No, it didn't. But that was another thing about this movie is, and I think we find this a lot in canon movies, is establishing shots and changing of locations is not clearly
unclear.
Is very unclear.
It doesn't need to be clear though. It's because it's perfect the way it is. That scene disturbed me though, because like that was the weirdest like sex romp with this woman who. I'm not saying that like women who are 87 cannot be attractive, Because like for because you're gonna like there's a Judi Dench or a Helen Mirren,
sure,
who are just gorgeous, like, but and again, not to be ageist, like it was presented like she was 18, and I think that's the thing that
attitude
was like what?
Well, if you're gonna please a customer, I suppose you have to maintain that sort of attitude, regardless of what you look like, how you feel like.
But everyone else looked at her like she was 18. Like,
that's
that
very
was the
true.
Crazy part.
John Rappin Hood flirted with her when he
Early
was coming
on,
back,
and he was like,
well, she was a staple of the neighborhood, clearly.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to point out one thing that you pointed out to me when Fats comes in pretending to be her husband to scare away the oil man at the end when their heist has gone off.
Yes.
Where they've filled up all of the rest of the neighborhood's oil and now they've foiled the rich tycoon man's plan. So Magnolia and Fats are sitting on the thing. Then she says, "Hey, honey, go make me a sandwich or
make yourself a sandwich."
Sure. And as she's sneaking him out,
the oil guy
out, it cuts outside where all of the guys who have returned the truck are laughing about it, and Fats is there too.
And then it cuts back inside, and Fats is eating a donut.
Yep. So
it was
good try, guys.
The whole movie, I think, was filled with, like, if you take enough time to watch it, there was a ton of sloppy things like that. Like the one scene with the guys rapping and like. He had glasses on, and then he had no glasses.
The guys with
all
the Fs, the F team or whatever they were.
The F team, whatever. What this is
ridiculous.
Movie was ridiculous. It was nonsense, but it was great.
Oh, and there's a disparity in information on the internets. We don't know if Mario van Peebles' rapping scenes were.
It was either, depending on where you look it up, IMDb claims it was Ice-T.
Okay.
Now, I don't think it was Ice-T.
It didn't sound like it.
Yeah, because it did not sound like... Because Ice-T is clearly... He's like a narrator rap twice in the movie.
And on the trailers, which look those up, please. We might be able to play one of these trailers.
Party people in the place, pay attention to me. I'm gonna tell you a story about an MC or a rapper. That's a person who rhymes to the beat, a musical rhythm on city street.
My name is Ice and I own this town.
That's only when Hood's not around.
Now John Hood's his name, rapping's his game. Word manipulation's how he gained his fame. And like Robin Hood, he's honest and true and always down with his partners, the Wild Thing crew.
Rappin'.
What's on your mind, man?
Rappin'.
John Hood.
Rappin'.
I'm gonna fix your Rappin' Hood.
Now Rappin' John Hood had one problem at hand. A mean power broker was taking the land.
I don't care if Menachem Golan and Yoram Globus sue me.
Rise from the grave and sue you?
Yeah, well, one of them's still alive, and I can't remember which one. I think it's Globus is still alive.
We'll figure that out later.
Or it could have been, according to Wikipedia, it was Master G of Sugar Hill Gang who dubbed Mario van Peebles' voice.
Interesting. You know what's funny is a lot of the Sugar Hill Gang songs had the similar feel of these raps.
Like,
didn't it? You know,
trying to save the neighborhood.
Well, kind of save the neighborhood, and not like they weren't heavy subjects. They were non-threatening, is what I'm saying. So it went along with that type of thing. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. You know, and then you hang out with your friends. I don't know the song very well.
I don't know it either.
It's like a 16-minute song. So
you're right. You're like
I believe that it would have been Master G rather than Ice-T, because
Ice-T did straight up gangster rap.
His song in the thing was about killing people.
Yeah,
it was called Killer.
Murder, killer, whatever. And they had
they had Uzis on their shoulders.
Yeah. No, that was straight up like. Yeah, what you think of like a NWA gangster rap,
exactly. Yes.
Versus like you're right, like the Sugar Hill Gang, like
smile. You know, just
By the way, all of the raps that I had done previous in this episode, or wherever AJ decides to put them, were all my own creation. I made them up on the spot.
Came from your own brain box.
I don't know if I'm proud of that or sad about that, but that is the truth.
I'm proud of it.
Thanks.
I'm proud to know you, sir.
I'm not proud that I did that, but they're there, and I feel like they should be used.
Yeah, it's you're a poet and you don't know it.
No, I do know it.
Oh yeah.
But
But again, we talked about the end where he uses his superpower.
Oh god,
to
this has
solve
to be the
this.
ending of every movie from this point forward.
As he's walking down the street, like everybody gets a line.
Well, that's how they did the credits of the movie.
Yeah.
As the actor's name came up as the credits, they got a rap line, including
Dwayne.
And
they put. Did you notice that country twang
oh, God,
thing that went
was
underneath
amazing.
his one?
And even
It's I'm not a rapper. And
ding 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 ding
oh,
ding ding
God.
ding 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 ding.
Good lord.
They also had including old Greek vendor.
Yeah.
Asian street vendor.
Yeah,
things like that.
Done
was
slightly offensively.
What was it like?
I'm
ancient
not going to
Chinese
try it.
Proverbs
say yes, exactly. Whatever you give comes back to you.
Someday
but it
or
rhymed.
whatever.
It rhymed. Yeah.
I mean, it was this is not. But
even
honestly,
the older lady with the 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah, she got
incredible.
one.
That was
that ending to this movie was could you imagine at the end of Die Hard if John McClane as they're doing credits is doing a rap about how we saved the building, and then Hans Gruber comes in and starts rapping about it, and then some of the guys who had died come in and start rapping around it. I mean, honestly, you would shit your pants because you would be so fucking excited about it.
Absolutely. No, if Hans Gruber flat against the
pavement
ground
started rapping. Reginald Vell Johnson comes in. Argyle comes in and starts rapping.
Absolutely.
Both Johnson and Johnson start rapping.
There you go.
You would have shit your pants with excitement.
So this was a huge sort of thing at the time during the 80s and even into the 90s where there was a rap usually over the credits, not with all the characters, but there was a rap to sort of wrap up to summarize what you had just seen. There's obviously Men in Black and Wild West and stuff like that, but there are a lot of other movies. Amos and Andrew, which was a
Nick Cage movie?
Nick Cage, Samuel L. Jackson. I specifically remember having that DVD for some reason and watching it, and at the very end it started summarizing what the whole movie had been about, and I was like, why is this necessary? What is happening right now?
If you want to really enjoy yourself,
okay.
Did you ever see the movie Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Honestly, truly one of my favorite movies of all time. It's up there. There was a rap scene filmed with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd rapping. It's the Dragnet rap that did not make it into the movie.
Oh, that's a shame.
But the music video of it is online and available.
Ooh,
you just look it up.
What an extra.
And watch those two rap. And it is...
Guys, we are giving you some gold stuff to look up on the internets. Oh my goodness.
So, getting back to Rappin', I think...
Yes.
The other thing I wanted to point out is,
yes, please.
A lot of the movie had that, it was a blatant ripoff of Axel F, which was the do from Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Blatant ripoff. It was a ripoff where it was you remember in the Behind the Music when Vanilla Ice was dun 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 dun.
There's that symbol. See, that's it.
That's it. And that's why it's so different than Under Pressure. That's what it was. And Beverly Hills Cop was 84,
84,
right? So,
correct.
The year
so they
before
absolutely. Well, if they're working that quick, they have to take some inspiration from some other places. We'll call it inspiration. And
we'll be nice about that.
Yeah, sure. Who directed this?
Oh, this was the same guy who his name is Joel Silberg.
Okay.
He directed Breakin' and Lambada,
both
movies
interesting.
For Menachem Golan.
Sure.
They meaning Golan and Globus, the Go-Go Boys there, produced 3 films in Israel before he came here, and
Oh, cool.
I'm not gonna remember. It's like, if we have the notes, it's like Mute Love, My Mother the General, and something Tel Aviv.
You're not going to even try that one?
I don't think it's... Look, I don't want to do to Yiddish what Golan and Globus did to rap.
That is understandable.
Yeah.
It's from 1979, and that's all you need to know.
And then the writers of this movie...
Yes.
Never, like, they did very little writing. In fact, one of the writers, his name's Adam Friedman, spent most of his career as a director.
Oh, okay.
Directing a lot of, like, these are cool planes from the World War II era kind of movies that you find on History Channel.
Oh,
and,
yeah, sure.
The bargain DVD bin. And he directed a bunch of Hall & Oates videos, which I feel like explained a lot.
That was his taste in music.
Yeah.
I see.
And I also found out that he did these movies called Inside Out, Part 1 and Part 4, which was a Playboy softcore porn series that was like a Tales from the Crypt style of softcore porn.
Oh.
That I partially was very curious about. Like, I didn't watch them, but enough of me to where I was like, maybe that's our next podcast, is Inside Out series.
So this didn't have anything to do with the development of the Pixar movie?
No, actually, I think that's exactly what it was. Eventually, it became Inside Out, the Pixar movie. Which is funny because the writing partner, Robert J. Litz, wrote House of Cards, but not the TV show. A movie from like the early 90s, starring, I believe it was Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And they worked on this movie together called Medium Straight. But like, between the two of these guys, their entire careers lasted like 4 movies. And the biggest thing that they did was Rappin. Rappin.
What a history to have.
You know what? If Rappin was my legacy, I feel like I could die a happy man.
I bet you there is a bar somewhere that you could drink for free for the rest of your life in. I don't know what bar that would be.
Well, if I did Rappin?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I bet you could find a place.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Because clearly, Rappin put Pittsburgh on the map.
Yeah. No, Pitts what?
Yep.
Pitts who?
Now we know.
Black and yellow? Not even close. I don't even know what Pittsburgh is. Now, because of Rappin,
exactly,
we all know it as the Music City,
the birthplace of
rap.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I don't even know what else to say about this movie.
Go ahead. I completely forgot. The lady who played Dixie, Tasia Valenza, is a huge voiceover person.
Yes. You're probably super excited about.
I love it. She's Poison Ivy. She's done a bunch of video games. She was on Star Trek, correct?
She was in 2 Star Trek series, including the newest one, Discovery.
Okay.
And she also did like basically any Star Wars video game.
Oh, okay.
For like the last 10 years, she has a character in that as well.
That's fantastic. That's really cool. Yeah, no, she was one of my favorite parts of this. So
she was great. And actually, speaking of the cast too, there's some really interesting like connections in that like Mario Van Peebles directed a movie called New Jack City.
Oh,
that he
interesting.
Also starred in, but Ice-T was also in New Jack City. It was one of his first like lead roles.
Hey,
Mario Van Peebles and Eric LaSalle both directed episodes of Chicago PD.
Oh,
and like
cool.
an impressive, like both of them have done an impressive amount of TV. Like I think a lot of people think of Eric LaSalle as just the guy from ER.
Sure, yeah.
They forget that he was in Logan just recently.
Yeah.
And he was one of my favorite parts in the movie, like Coming to America, the Eddie Murphy movie.
Yes, yeah.
Another favorite of mine.
I love it.
It's so good, and he was in that. Like he killed it in that. It's interesting. A guy like Eric LaSalle, I think, like, and maybe unfairly, people kind of like be sort of a punchline in the same way that like some of those guys from ER who never became.
Well, he did spell his name with a Q.
That he didn't. His parents did. Give him some credit.
I'm kidding. No, you're right.
But like, you know, he wasn't the George Clooney, so like I think he gets sort of like placed. But I always find it fascinating. Like a lot of these guys make incredible careers. Directing, and he is like, if you look at his TV directing career, it's impressive.
That's awesome.
Super impressive.
Interesting.
Same thing with Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah, they haven't made themselves a household name, but they have consistently worked.
I remember.
Yeah.
Speaking of household names, the movie Mario Van Peebles did called Solo. It was 96. My dad and I went to see it. I was like 14 at the time, and we hated that movie so much.
Aw.
that I remember to this day, like, us laughing about that movie.
Aw.
And we would talk about Solo. We would talk about Mario Van Peebles.
Fantastic.
For years. I have not revisited it since I saw it in theaters in 96.
Maybe that'll be a bonus episode.
I kind of want to rewatch it.
We should do that.
And just... I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, but...
That'll be bonus content,
that'll be
folks.
bonus
Just
content.
watch out for that.
So I do want to mention, because like when we go back to like creating canon,
Yes.
there's a couple of things that I want to hit.
Oh, please.
just
Yes.
to highlight some stuff, or at least nail down some stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I really loved both the whole opening scene and the closing credits scene. There's something really fun about those. The opening scene was ridiculous, but it actually set up a lot of interesting stuff.
Where he's coming back into town
Yeah.
and
We meet
everyone
all of the
hates
characters.
him.
Yeah, everyone hates him, but we meet all of the characters really
Yeah.
simply and quickly.
here's a problem that I have with that is they set that up and then there is no explaining why he is such a pariah in the movie,
And
then he saves everybody
and
and everybody loves him again.
But everyone wanted like look to him for guidance.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie, it was crazy.
Yeah, they're all he's like standing up to Cedric, the one of the assistant fellow,
And like everyone goes to get him to stand
yeah.
up to say. I mean, the movie. Oh, and also in that opening scene,
Yeah.
he gets out of jail with white shoes with red and blue trim.
Yeah.
And like as he's walking out of the jail, they magically turn to black shoes with yellow trim.
Yep.
And again, just one of those like quick filmmaking. I I don't know
Whoops.
how you fucked that one up.
Or maybe he got those shoes because he walked out of the jail cell with those. Maybe he had the other shoe. I don't know.
I cannot imagine. Like that's. I like
'Cause
how
he
you're
walks
trying to
out of
give
the
this
jail
movie
cell dressed.
credit.
He walks out of
Yeah.
the jail cell dressed,
like he was an overnight lockup rather
Yes.
than like
prison for 18 months.
Yeah.
But we do like and then he meets his gang,
Oh,
who seem like a
they seem like a rival gang at first.
they seem like a Kung Fu Hustle style.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
face-off gang.
Well, one of the guys. No, it was Dwayne. Dwayne went on and did Black Samurai after this. movie,
did he?
Which I think is kind of amazing.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. He did Black Samurai before this movie. Not
Oh,
after.
okay. Well, then it was clear why he was.
Cast in this.
Yeah. And you said that you enjoyed the beginning and in.
I just there was something
whole
about like the
community thing,
like
yeah.
the way the community was introduced quickly, and it felt very much like it came full circle.
Okay,
which
yeah.
the scenes are imperfect, but the fact that like that happened and it felt full circle,
Very much so,
was
yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
I do think that it must be noted that you do no research about the culture you're stealing from. And that's first draft only. Fuck second drafts.
Exactly.
'Cause
No,
that's
absolutely.
all that matters.
Yes, of course.
You ADR everything.
ADR
ADR City. For reals, though, I love the jacket around the arm in the knife fight.
Sure.
Knife fight.
Yep.
I thought that was incredible. I loved the shot of when he's recording. Like, it's the three people in the recording
yes.
studio. And
Yes.
his reflection is seen in the glass.
Right.
I feel like we've seen that done better in other places.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I don't know, it was just it was a very cinematic shot in a movie with very few cinematic shots.
I agree. Actually, another one of those cinematic shots was inexplicably on a tower above Pittsburgh. That was beautiful. Where he and Dixie are talking about their relationship or something to that, his career. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And that was after that inexplicable scene with him boxing.
Yeah, that made no sense whatsoever. Just boxing
Yeah,
for
well,
boxing's sake.
I think that's something that they absolutely do, is they have availability. Things are available to them, and they'll use it.
You mean canon?
Canon,
Yes, I
think,
agree.
I think that there is no reason that you should put it in there, but it actually adds a little to character if you're willing to say, well, it was never mentioned before, so why is he at a boxing gym?
Well,
but
he
it
does
also gives
talk about
some
working out in prison the whole time.
Of course he does, yeah. But it also gives a dimension to, you're not just in the same sets all the time.
Yeah.
If you have, because it's literally in one scene, and you don't know how they got there, or when they got there, or anybody else in the scene.
Yeah.
So
it's
fine, but use what you got.
Use what you got, and you're hitting at something too, because in a way it feels like what happened was like, and I'm kind of making this up, but like,
Yeah, go ahead.
Menachem was like, Joel, we're using this boxing gym for Delta Force, and
Sure.
we got an extra day. You want it? And they're like, yeah, we'll put a scene in there.
Sure. Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, one of the most. So I feel like this movie has like two of the most insane things I've seen in a very long time.
Okay.
One was that bathroom scene, right?
Yes.
Another was so three. I lied. Three things.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was the Heart Boxers
Yep.
scene with the oil guy, which I
Yes.
found so disturbing for so many
Sure.
ways. And then the third scene was when Dwayne is threatening Hood. And he's like, well, I've got three things to tell you. One, and he's holding playing cards. He's like, one, and he pulls out like the ace of spades. And he's like,
oh my God.
blah, 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 blah. Two, and he pulls out the two of spades. And he's like, three, and he pulls out the three of spades. And then he's like, and always remember, I'm the king. And he pulls out like the king of diamonds.
Yep.
I lost my shit.
I
that
know.
was
My God.
incredible. It was so amazing.
Oh my God. It was like he was doing magic.
Yes!
It was like he was performing a magic trick story.
Well, before that,
Yeah.
when that shot first opens, it's like him around his crew, and you know the magic trick where like you take like a pen or a cigarette and you like pretend to shove it up your
Oh my
nose.
God. Oh
and then
my
you're
God.
you pull it out. He was doing that for his crew, and the crew was like, "Whoa!"
See, here's the sad side story of this whole thing is that Dwayne was a failed magician.
He just wanted to do magic.
I mean, there's just no magic scene in Pittsburgh.
oh,
It's heartbreaking, really. Like, you
really
see what
is.
happens when a magician ends up on the wrong side of the tracks.
AJ, I think you've just hit upon the main core of our story.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that Dwayne is a failed magician who is so sad about his failure
Yep.
that he starts murdering young women.
Yes.
And Charles Bronson has to find him.
I think, actually, this could have been a quadrilogy.
Oh, God.
Where this the next one was magician with an
with an N, magician with instead of magicianing.
I suppose
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's like, hey, are you reppin'? Because I will be reppin'. You will be in jail creppin' when you are done reppin'. Your neck'll be snappin' if you keep those lips flappin'. I'm Charles Bronson. That's it. That's the whole rap.
That's it. Yeah,
That's it. That's my Charles Bronson rap.
Well, he's not a good rapper, but that's all right.
yeah, no, I felt like I did
That's-
an accurate portrayal of what Charles Bronson's rap
That's
would
as
have been.
good as he could do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like that's what that
We're
was.
not paying him to rap. We're paying him to be Charles Bronson.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yep, exactly.
So,
Well, good.
I don't know. I feel like I could talk about this movie forever, but you don't want me to.
No. I've definitely not stopped recording about 15 minutes ago.
So, what are we
Yes.
doing next time?
Next time, I feel like I need a break from the Breakin' trilogy.
I understand. Well, you don't want to like blow your load all in like one session.
No,
like,
God,
you
there's
need
too.
to spread the Breaking
It's
movies
too
out.
good. It's too good. What do you think?
How about I'm just throwing this out there? We
Yes.
start at the beginning of canon films.
What are you
I
talking
think
about?
you and I should
Yes.
sit down next to each other uncomfortably and watch a Swedish softcore porn
Yes,
called Inga.
Inga. Not the trilogy.
Not the whole trilogy. I think we just watch one movie.
All right.
And we go back to the beginning. How's that sound?
I think that's perfect. I think this will be nice because Rappin was closer to the Indish.
It was like the middle. It was like squarely in the middle. 'Cause
That's
I
true.
think the Go-Go Boys took over in like the
Late 70s.
late 70s.
Okay,
and
sure.
canon really kind of ended in like early 90s.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're in the meat.
Yeah,
we're in the meat of
meat.
it. We want to go back.
We want to go back
see...
before the Golans.
Yes,
Before
the
Monogamy.
Golans.
I'm sorry, not the Golans. The Go-Go
The
Boys.
GG.
The GGs. Holy shit.
That's fine.
I have not been drinking, but I feel like I should have.
Here you go.
Oh boy. No, I'm good.
All
This
right.
wasn't schizoid that drove me to drink. This was Rappin, which drove me to rap and
to rap
be
and
so happy.
Yeah, you're great at that.
I really look.
You have a confidence of a more skilled person.
So did Eric LaSalle
Yes,
and
indeed they
Mario
did.
van Peebles
Indeed
and
they did.
all the rest of the rappers in this movie. Look, I truly, like, I was delighted by this movie.
This didn't suck.
To be clear, it was not good.
No.
But, like, you should watch Rappin', people.
Oh, it's full of energy.
It's full of energy.
Full of people trying their best.
Yeah. And I wouldn't watch it by myself.
No. It's got to be.
But just the two of us, I thought, had a great time watching this movie.
Looking over at your movie partner and being like, what the fuck is going on?
It's a delight. This is definitely like a great party movie.
It's lovely. Yes, exactly.
So.
And just go out and get the album, definitely.
Definitely listen to some of the songs. Hopefully we can play some.
Yes.
And man, you got to give it up to Shout Factory for an incredible DVD. The Blu-ray of this movie.
Yes. Thank God you're keeping the Canon name alive.
Yeah, you're keeping the lights on.
Indeed.
All right.
Okay, well, if you want to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, we're all at Creating Canon. That's Canon with 2 N's. And not creating as it would be in this universe. I'm just confusing the issue. It's creating with a G and then canon with 2 N's. Is that too complicated?
I think we missed an opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. That's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's cool.
Listen, it would have only been relevant to 3 movies. And then it would have
just best movies of all time.
Been confusing after that.
That's true.
So creatingcanon@gmail.com is also where you can email us wonderful ideas, your own raps.
Yeah, please. And
send us anything.
Honestly, Melvin Plowden, I got a cheesecake waiting for you, or a
yes,
hug,
dude.
Or I don't even have to like touch you.
You're my hero.
I just want to hear what you're doing today.
Can we give you a high five?
I want to hear what the reason was where you're like, fuck movies.
What is your life like now?
Yeah.
It would be fascinating.
Yes.
So, until next time, this is AJ, and that's...
Oh, I thought you were going to say it for me. That's
Good
Nick.
Lord. I guess the way I set it up would actually be... Yep, all right. Well, this is AJ, and that's Nick Pappas.
I'm Nick Pappas.
Actually, it's Nicholas J. Pappas. C-F-C-U-C-K-M-O-U-S-E. We're going to get sued for that, actually.
Rappin does this to you.
All right, this is
leaving,
AJ
bye.
Hamilton for Nicholas C. Pappas saying good night and good canon.
Yo, Rappin'! This podcast had to happen. It was sweet and really neat that we talked about rapping with Mario van Peebles.
Creating canon's better than Steve Bannon. That's all I could think of.
Menachem Golan said, go and make a movie about rapping. And that did happen. He said, yo, Joel Silberg, make a movie about the nerds.
There weren't nerds in this. Everybody was cool. That's us. We're the nerds.
We're the nerds.
Oh,
fuck. Listen, motherfucker, I'll dare to swear you can't stop me from singing about your derriere. You got a butt, and it's alright. It'd probably be better if you weren't so white. I feel like that was a
offense taken.
Like everyone in the audience goes, "Oh no, you did not."
Didn't. No, that guy shouldn't have.
I feel like we should do this entire episode and rap